Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. In this episode, we dive deep into the world of aftermarket ECUs, tuning tools, and the critical role of formal training. From hands-on insights into platforms like VCM Suite, the KES 3, Auto Tuner, and standalones like Haltech and HP Tuner's Core ECU. The real talk about durability, remote tuning, and the silent systems that can make or break a build when considering tolerances. This is an unfiltered look at modern vehicle tuning. We're also going to explore how professional training not only protects your engine, but sets you apart in a rapidly evolving industry. Whether you're tuning a $500,000 800 horsepower showpiece like we have on the Dyno today, or you're just starting out, this episode is packed with lessons, laughs, and our honest real-world advice. Let's get to it, where I can continue my conversation with Simon and Bob. You got your tuning tools and you got your ECUs. To mix in PRI with that, HP Tuners has done something so cool with this Core ECU.
Yes.
So it's a mix, it's a factory replacement, aftermarket, just downright cool. And props to them. That's the epitome of the aftermarket world and the innovation that we expect to see outside the OEM. That's standard setting right there.
That's fair. That's fair. They set high bar.
The guys at HP Tuners, I love them. They're great to work with and talk to. So let's talk about that for a second. Aftermarket ECUs.
Sure.
So now we're no longer talking about Continental GPEX being lopped. We're not talking about the Bosches being lopped. We're talking about a gift from the creators that said, have at it.
Here's an aftermarket ECU.
Tune it. Make it wicked.
Make it happen, right? Make it happen.
Do it.
There's some great offerings out there. Core is brand new. Mm-hmm. They've come up with, but if you look at that ECM, it looks like an OEM ECM.
Yeah.
Like the case, the durability, all that stuff. And I would say that when they were developing it, they were looking at it from a lens of how do we improve upon the standard.
Yeah.
You know, it's different than I want to evolve something, but when I want to make a new standard, that's where you go, right? And so you could take that thing and punish it. It'll run great. Because durability wise, it's encased. I know of other aftermarket standalones that are very popular that we do support and people love, but they're not necessarily very durable. And they'll tell you straight up, don't put this in the engine compartment. This belongs inside your car. That's okay. Like, to understand that's the use case, that's okay. But maybe you do, some durability racing, like maybe you're off-road, trucking or something. That's tough sell to put that ECM in that vehicle. It still needs that aftermarket ECM support, but it's a tough sell because you're not really trusting whether it's a plastic case or whatever it is. And then there's other units that are somewhere, kind of in that range, but also quite durable. Like Haltechs are great in that capacity. Highly trustworthy, great software, fast and easy to use. Core, I think we did a lot of research and development on Core as it came out on the front end, which was great. So it was an honor to do that.
So you worked with them in the development?
We did.
I did not know that before my endorsement.
We did. You did not. I sabotaged you with that one, I guess. But no, we did a ton of it well before anybody had one in their hands. We were working on them. Okay. And
I'm not surprised either.
It's a lot of hard work. It really is.
It's a marvel for our industry.
Yeah. It's a great thing. It's just a ton of hard work to get there. But it's somewhere in the realm of almost Motec level. So there is complication to it. I'm not going to say it's simple and easy. I think it should get more simple and easy to use as time goes on. Because
goals and
feedback from users. Like, hey, this was hard to do. Can you simplify that? Whether it was a fueling thing or whatever. Because it's very engineer oriented. Don't get me wrong. The Core is like level 10, man. That thing is capable of so much stuff. Whether it's boost controls or whatever, you name it. It's got the strategies in there to do it on a standalone level, which is amazing. And it's, like I said, it's kind of close to Motec level. It's not Motec, but it's knocking on the door. So development wise, I think, given enough feedback from the customer base, because you get our feedback, and at the tuning school, we're used to stuff, and it's easy enough for us to say, hey, tweak this, do that. But I always want to hear the guy that's never used it before. What's your opinion? How do you like it? Yeah. What's your feedback? What were your pain points? And what worked really well for you, and then pass that along to the engineers who are working on it, and then ultimately, it could be a month later, I don't know, it'll be improved.
Yeah. And that's the guy from the shop that maybe, shops get busy, and not everybody can just drop everything they're doing and go to SEMA and talk to the engineers or talk to the developers. So you're wanting to hear from those people that, I never went to SEMA, I never talked to the engineers. I called and I said, here's my money, send me the ECU.
Yeah.
So that's who you're wanting to hear from.
Yeah, and we do that with all of them. I don't care what it is. It could be a Haltech, it could be a stock computer.
Sure.
You know, because like what we do is, you know, we take a lot of time to develop courses online, learn at home. Doesn't matter what your learning preference is in person, but we're very process oriented. And so I want to know, how did this process work for you, sir? You took it, you took the course, you went home, you tuned your GM or your Ford or your Dodge or whatever, or your Holly. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
You know, how did that process work for you? Because the process always works. It's just what shortcuts did you find along the way? What's improved for you along the way?
Yeah.
The same thing goes for the hardware that we're teaching people on. You know, whether it's a Haltech, a Holly, or a Core, tell us, because we can pass it along to them. You may not know anybody at those companies. That's okay. Like, we can advocate for you and go, hey guys, would you please work on this? Our customers are struggling with that. That's kind of where our niche is in the industry. We're kind of like that bridge.
Can you tell Bosch to stop blocking ECUs?
I don't think they're going to listen to us.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Done.
That's all you, Simon. Can be fixed.
So Simon, aftermarket ECUs in UK or Europe in general, or, I mean, Viezu has dealers in over 80 countries now. So what do you see worldwide on that
Over
trend?
100 countries now.
100 countries now. I'm focused on the USA and Canada, so
There you go.
100 countries.
Yep.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah, it's well over 1,000 dealers, I think it is worldwide, over 100 countries now. It's quite a few. So there's probably a Viezu dealer on your doorstep somewhere if you're looking for something. But
Probably.
in terms of standalone ECUs, Europe and, again, the market's very, very different. So in Europe and stuff, you go in standalone when you go in big power, and it's not typically a road car. It's your race car and things. It's the one that's going to get trailed around. In terms of the ECUs and the capabilities, yeah, we've already mentioned that the durability thing is one. I love that. You can have standalone ECU that's going to do all this stuff, but be very careful with it and put it on a cushion and keep it protected. There is a range when it comes to these things, and it's not so much price point based, but it kind of is to a degree. It's one of those things. The better ones, things like your Motex and some of the Infinity stuff, even some of the Cyvex things we were talking about earlier, in plug and plays.
Yeah.
So there's some fantastic options out there for plug and play. So you don't want to build a brand new wiring harness for things, and you don't have to make an entire calibration completely from scratch. And that's sometimes something that can put a lot of tuners off. I've got a standalone ECU and I've got no calibration. Or if I've got a base calibration, it was based off a generic car that's not really going to work. And there's so much time invested in getting it up and running before you get to the fun bit of tuning it. Some of the plug and play things that come, we did it with some of the back turbos, some of the VAG range of things.
Sensor will throw everything off. So
yeah,
yeah.
You just plug it in and you're straight into the sort of the business end of tuning it on there. So there's some great options out there. We do training, we do support for those as well. But again, it's down to those markets. I think you see a lot more of the aftermarket things over here, especially when you say with 1,000 horsepower, 1,500 horsepower at the wheels.
Yeah, right.
You're going to need to look at something to then control that, because whilst you could probably make the factory system do it, you're so far above and beyond the capability and really the comfort zone of that OEM controller that things like the Core and your Motex and so on now give you an opportunity to actually get control back of that engine, instead of scaling a sensor that didn't really want to read that. You've made a mess of the software to get it to work. Go to your aftermarket.
The comfort level is totally different, because eventually every car will reach, at least, you know, what we normally see as like your performance car. It becomes a race car over time, right?
Yeah.
Like it gets there. And what'll occur is along the way, a guy or girl will go, cool, I've turbocharged my car. Awesome. Well, what's controlling the boost on that? Well, with the stock ECM, it's not that, because the car didn't come with a turbo. So now you've got a turbo control system, right? And I don't know, pick your favorite aftermarket turbo controller. There's nothing wrong with it. It's cool. Oh, by the way, we also now have meth injection. Okay, cool. That's awesome. But the stock computer doesn't know that exists. What's controlling that? It's got its own controller. And then you just see this like, we call it like a silo based approach. When you wake up one day and you have 5 different things doing 5 different, controls on your car, and none of them talk to one another. None of them are aware the other exists. Your stock computer has no clue what's going on. Like you said, you're kind of on the fringe to begin with.
Yep.
You wake up and one day, we have a car like this back that we teach on routinely. Great car. It's a 06 Corvette. All this different stuff exists on it. And if I just had a magic wand, what would I do? That stock computer needs to go away at that point. And guess what? Pick your favorite standalone. And why? That standalone can do launch control, boost control, knock control, probably could control meth injection too if I gave it the opportunity to do it. And whatever else stuff you have on that car, nitrous, all these things that were standalone controls now get one thing. And in addition to that, that one controller is now aware that this is happening. And what does that mean for safety? Holy cow, my engine is protected now. It'll stop this the nitrous spray if it sees the things are leaning out, or we're knocking like crazy guys, or my fuel pressure dropped off a cliff because, you know, in the middle of a run, fuel pump died. Well, instead of blowing up the engine, my now $30,000 engine build is protected. That's when you need to be in a standalone.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way that I like. Yeah.
Yeah, we call that tolerance stacking. So this part is maybe plus or minus 2% from the factory. This part's plus or minus 1%. And by the time you've gotten 50 parts,
Where are you at?
where are you at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's okay. I like your terminology, and it makes sense. And you can get all these systems talking to each other.
Yeah.
That's the way to go about it. Yeah. It's this comes back to, again, having that conversation with customers from the outset. What is the end objective? Now, the end objective might not actually be what they were planning on day one.
Right.
A couple of years later, that's now where they're going. The goals have moved and have grown with the car and the project, but it's understanding what is that objective. You want the stage 7 tune. Great. What are the modifications? Air filter.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're at stage 1 level, but we understand you're looking at more power. So then you look at it and you discuss the budgets and so on and go, well, ultimately at that point, there is now a big jumping price point because we are now going into aftermarket ECUs. And at that point, you may as well go for the bigger turbo here and there's this and let's put the meth on and so on and so forth. So it's, again, it's understanding that customer's objectives and putting the right sort of plan together for the journey of that car.
So yeah, putting the plan together. So I know we do it here in Salt Lake. Do you offer a service with the tuning school where a customer can call and say, I've got this 2021 Hellcat. This is my end goal. How do I get there? And get kind of a consultation. And that way they don't do tolerance stacking or building a silo. And they're
crazy.
way off target at the end.
So we actually don't get a lot of those calls anymore. We have historically tried not to compete with anybody that we've taught how to tune. And so, like, if you say, hey, I want you to tune our, I won't do it. And we're sorry, no, the tuner school exists to teach your local tuner how to tune. So you don't want to compete, right? You don't want to compete with the school that taught you. And so for the most part, that's gone away. Let me rephrase that. The people that call and ask those questions are actually our customers, and they're the shop owners. And they maybe don't have experience with that Hellcat. Maybe they're a GM shop, but it's very common. GM shops and Dodge, they're not that far apart. Not like a GM and a Ford, you know, they're kind of opposite shops. But those guys will call and go, hey, you know, I got this customer. What do we do for this guy? What do you recommend? So even if we don't, I mean, we have answers internally because we have instructors who have a ton of experience with GM, Ford, Dodge, you know, Holley, all this stuff. But the goal is to help them understand along the way. We don't even charge them for that because they're already in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
You know, like that's
it's sort of thing. It's part of the support and things that we offer with your trainings. Yeah. You've got someone who specialises, and it was something I was talking about before, guys that were into their VW diesels.
Yeah.
They're actually based in the US at the time. They did training courses with us for the VW diesels, very successful, and then somehow ended up tuning agri vehicles in South America.
Wow, that's a leap.
Still a diesel, but a bit of a transition. Just a very extended holiday at some point.
They liked South America.
Proved to be very successful. But what we did with the VAG training that we'd done for them, so they were doing VW, things like Passats and so on, and doing the tuning on big upgrades, bigger turbos. That unlocked the knowledge door, if you like. And that sounds a pretty cheesy thing to say, but it unlocked that door to go, well, hang on, if we can do this on this engine, well then that's a diesel engine as well. So let's apply the logic to that. And they literally sold their business in the US, moved to South America, and are doing very well for themselves doing the agri vehicles down there.
On a beach. Probably.
So it's one of those things.
Same Bosch VDC controller.
There we go.
But it's one of those things. They might not have come across that particular ECU or that particular vehicle during the training. So we provide the support and help. And not so much it's a consultation is the wrong sort of thing to say. We'll have consultations with our customers.
Sure.
We'll have a consultation with someone looking at taking a training course to understand what are they trying to achieve. Are they looking at the right course?
Right.
Well, actually, you're brand new to this. Maybe this would suit you for what the vehicles that you're looking to tune, or you want to get into WinOLS or ECM or Stage X. Great. What's the background? What tools are you using? Well, that tool actually supports this software. So you'll have those consultations and things with students and training delegates. But then after the fact, if someone calls up, I've got this, what am I doing? What's the best approach? Well, actually, we'd do this, this, and this. Oh, actually, one of the guys that's been on the course or girls that's been on the course, they specialize in this and we'll put them directly in contact. So the training is obviously about the training, how to use the software, how to tune that particular fuel type, but it's also a really great networking event, if you like, for everyone that's been on there, because it shows in the training classes that we do, and like we've done on this one as well, the students are all talking to each other. Oh, I didn't realize you do that. Oh, I fly down there sometimes. Can we? Yeah, it's fine. You ever got a problem with that ECU? Give me a shout. Oh, I've got a special tool that unlocks this. It's a really good networking event for the delegates, for the students,
100%.
and it shows that they're not on their own.
Right.
They're not in a silo, to use the phrase you used earlier about some of the piggyback controllers. They're not in a silo. We're there for support for them. And if we haven't got the information knowledge, we can point them in the direction of someone that can help them with that. Ultimately, we just want to help everyone do business and get to the point that they need to get to service their customer.
Yeah.
So as far as servicing your customer, you both tune a lot of different vehicles. We've already touched on HP tuners in the core, stock ECUs. Simon, let's talk about some of the tools that Viezu uses, the resells, and maybe touch on master and slave, and then we'll bring it into the tools you use.
Sure.
And then we'll discuss the master and the kind of an RTD equivalent.
Oh yeah, sure.
So that'd be the master
How that
slave
works, yeah.
equivalent.
Yeah.
And then I'll just kind of
Yeah.
sit sideline and see if I can merge these two markets and see what I can do to help.
We use those tools as well, so we've merged already.
Sorry.
There we go.
It's in terms of tuning tools. I mean, you can list them off. You've got some main ones for European vehicles. You've got obviously your Haltech KES 3 doing your OBD boot and bench all in one. You've got your auto tuner doing your OBD boot and bench all in one. You've got your Magic Flex. Guess what? Doing your OBD boot and bench all in one. You've got your B Flash doing your OBD boot. There's a pattern to this. It used to be, and the reason I say that is it used to be you'd have one tool for OBD, you'd have one for doing bench, and the tools were a little bit more segmented. It's with technology, of course, improving. It's all sort of rolled into one thing now. And in terms of the tools, you end up typically with multiple tools. The more you tune, a bit like being a mechanic, the more vehicles you work on, the more tools that you end up buying for your toolbox. It's the same with tuning tools. Whilst they all have a lot of crossover in terms of what they support, there'll be one tool that really does have the niche or has a really good sort of application list for a particular vehicle type. There'll be another one that's really good for gearboxes. There'll be another one that does things like dyno mode unlocking. Oh, great, I need that for my McLaren. I'll go and get that tool as well. One has data logging built in. So now, hang on, I've got a tuning tool that's doing my data logging as well. I've got to take 7 flight cases around with me to go and tune a car.
Sure.
It's a one-stop shop, a little bit like the HP tuner. You can read and write and tune with the thing. And of course, you've got your data logging through there as well. So you've got a number of tools out there that cover a wide range of things. And there's nothing worse than you tune a vehicle and you find out one vehicle isn't supported on that tool.
Right.
I have to turn a customer away.
Yeah.
No one wants that. So having a second tool gives you that second bite of the cherry, that extra chance of being able to tune that vehicle on there.
Yeah.
The master slave or master client setup on there it simplifies the tuning to a degree for that end user. So if you're brand new to tuning, you're a service center or something, you don't want the headache of having master files, open files that someone's going to go and make changes, or they've sent it somewhere else to be tuned and you didn't know where. And that client tool gives you that peace of mind that the file is, in most cases, only going to the master for that tool. They've done the work, they've done the development, the dyno testing, etc. They're doing all the hard work and all the brain power was going into it. They just send the file back and all you have to do is upload and download. Now with a master tool, you can do exactly the same, but you've now got the advantage that if you want to start to learn, you can have a peek under the hood, for want of a better phrase and a pun. You can have a look at what's been done in that file.
Like that.
You can start to develop your own file on your own car.
Right.
Buy something in, say, I've had a go at doing this. Can you have a look at it and give some feedback? And we do that a lot with the students as well. So they've had a look at doing a file on their car. They've put what they've learned into practice, and they just want that hand holding to the peace of mind that, can you just double check I did it the right way? I'm not going to blow my wife's car up when I put a file on there. Yeah. But with the tools, there's obviously a price difference between the two. And of course, your client slave tools come in a little bit cheaper because it's not open, it's not unlocked. It makes reading and writing a little bit easier as well when you talk about things like boot and bench, because you've got a read button and a write button in most cases on most of the tools. When you get into a master tool, now everything's open, and I've got to make sure I'm clicking on the right button to write the right
See
file.
the flash, not the EEPROM, and the, full backup or whatever it is.
But in terms of actual application, I mean, the tools are the same. You've got, in terms of application, the master and the client tools are the same in that regards. Right. There's a couple of things, maybe cloning of ECUs, which is a very specific topic we could probably talk about for a long time, but the next podcast. Cloning can be tool specific in terms of the master or slave. So some options do require a master tool because of how that cloning is done, whereas others with the client or slave tool, you can just copy the backup from one ECU and throw it onto the other. So there are some differences in that regards between the tools, but generally speaking, they all kind of do the same thing, read and write. You've got some what we call end user tools or home tuning tools then, which is the sort of the retail side of things. So you've got a customer who's based 500 miles away from you. They can't get to you for tuning the car, or they want the ability to have 3 or 4 different tunes on that vehicle. So it's not so much map switching, but they want that valet mode. So they can upload a valet mode map to the vehicle using things like the MyGenius or the PowerGate or the RTD. Battery tuner. There's all the IXI from Magic Motorsports. There's all these different options out there.
The Auto Tuner 1 is coming out,
the Auto Tuner 1 that's coming out soon as well. So there's those end user tools that are being developed by the same tuning tool manufacturers that are making the things for us.
Right.
To be able to get in there and tune. It then gives the end user the ability to go, right, I can't get to you, but I like the idea of being able to swap between the software. Right. I'm going away for a long drive at the weekend. I'm going away for a couple of weeks cruising around Europe. I want a nice economy file. I'm taking it to the track at the weekend. I'd like that full-blown sports file. Sure. Can you do that as well? You can upload those for the customer as well. So it's given us now the ability that a tuning shop like this, you don't have to go and travel out to all of your customers. You can send something out there in the mail to them that enables them to virtually travel to you for tuning. So there's a tool for everything, really, if that kind of makes sense. Whether you're a master file writer developing brand new solutions, you've got your own dealer network, then there's tools for that with the slave tools tied to the master. So you can grow your own network of tuning shops, sending the files to yourself. And of course, then there's the end user tools as well. So whether it's HP Tuner, RTD, all the other tools I've mentioned already and their home tuning equivalent, there's an option out there really for everyone.
Definitely. HP Tuner's approach that's mostly what we see between HP Tuners and SCT. They do have that sort of structure. It does exist. It's improved greatly in the last couple of years, the RTDs. The biggest issue that I've always had with remote tuning is the data logging perspective. So if you're remote tuning someone's vehicle and it's stock or mildly modified, it's not as big a deal. I still want to see data logs, don't get me wrong, but I would typically have to send them an actual unit, not an RTD. Whereas now they've improved significantly to the point where the data logging is significantly better. We have a lot of students that are full-blown tuners that are doing a great job on the remote tuning side now. But those guys, those girls have actually specialized. They're like, they know a vehicle inside and out. They know they could probably tune it without even hearing it or seeing a data log. They know what's going to work, but it's been really successful for them. They could do 3 or 4 a day that way. Now, you know how hard that is when you get one customer on your dyno, he's late, you strap the thing down, you got 4 hours into it by the time you're done. And you could do the opposite if you have a remote tuning model where you get really good at one, like I'm a Mustang guy. I tune Mustangs all day, and they're really good and they're repeatable and reliable. The biggest things have always been data logging and getting the customer to understand they need a wideband. Holy cow. So those remote tuners are actually now making money, by the way, selling those customers a kit. So it exponentially expands their revenue because the tune on its own, that's $500. But you do need this equipment, the RTD or whatever, pick your brand, but you also have to have a wideband or I'm not touching it. And a good tuner is going to say, I'm not touching your car without a wideband. Unlike most of your European cars, you all have wide bands from the factory. Our American cars typically do not.
I think that's the key thing to point on there. So it's different vehicles in different markets, different setups on there. So again, similarly like you said about your remote tuners, we've dyno tested the car to death. We know what it's going to do. We know what the ECU is capable of. We know the sensors that are on there. So even if the engine does start operating in a condition or parameter that wasn't intended, not from a tuning point of view, but just mechanically something's going weird on the car, sensor fails or whatever, there's a backup and a backup and a backup with the strategies, as we were talking about today, the strategies in the ECU to put it in a protection mode, to put it in a limp mode or a derate mode. It's got all those things pre-built into it. So for almost every scenario,
Yeah.
it can try and protect itself.
Right.
But you're saying there, if your car's got a narrowband sensor on, you've got two options. I'm either Richley.
Yep.
Where's the
Good
sweet
tuner
spot?
can't work.
Oh, no, Richley. You've got to have that wideband on there. So yeah, it's different models for different markets and things. But yeah, it's remote tuning is definitely something that's on the uptake, especially with. Well, it sounds really cheesy, but you speed with the internet now and connectivity.
It's so
all the other things out there. I mean, someone can now just literally have a mobile call, a FaceTime call, showing you what the car's doing. None of this, it's making a weird noise on an email. You can actually see it and hear it in real time.
FaceTime, man.
From 1,000 miles away.
I'm not an Apple
Also
guy, but
choose
it's
it.
true. It works. Okay. Yeah.
Google Meets,
I'm sure there's an option. There you go. Google Meets.
Teams,
Teams.
near tap calls. Yeah, there's something there for everyone.
Yeah.
So those are the tools, HP tuners, and you know all the binary file side of it. Which, okay, so you've got the car, which is cool. You got the tools, that's cool. Now you gotta know how to use them on the tuning side. So these two are probably the most biased people that I can find to answer this question. But let's talk about the importance of formal training.
Wow.
So the tuning school, Viezu has our Viezu Technical Academy. So, Bob, let's hear from you the importance of a formal training.
You don't need it. Go on YouTube. End of story. I'm just kidding.
The secrets out.
Oh, the secrets are all on YouTube. I love watching YouTube because I love to learn the secrets of how to tune on YouTube, guys. I'm just
I follow the tuning school on YouTube.
I prefer you'd follow the tuning school on YouTube. We actually put good stuff out. I've watched some amazing stuff on YouTube that blows my mind that people would think they should put that out there. And, I watched their video one time just because I'm bored or curious. And there's a guy out there saying, well, this table, who he has, by the way, no experience tuning. So what gives him the idea that he should teach anybody anything? He's like, this tells you how dirty your engine is. And I'm like, that's not what that table does. And there is no such table. That's the ethanol content table, sir. Okay. Wow. Well, that blew my mind. I'm like, okay, so there's definitely a need. You're doing complicated stuff. Like one of our instructors always says, you're one keystroke away from disaster. Okay. That's the thing. No, especially when you have a modified car that didn't have a supercharger from the factory or whatever, which is everything in America. Let's just be honest. You've got a cam or a blower or a turbo. You're here. Okay. That's our reality. America, right? It's America in a tuning nutshell. That's America. So I would prefer if you got educated. There's lots of great places to get educated. The tuning school is a great source. We're very process driven. You will learn to tune when you use the product. That's the whole point. The alternative is you can watch YouTube and you can probably get at least half of it wrong, probably more. In which case you'll probably lose at least an engine, probably 3. In which case you end up at a place like the tuning school, which does happen. And you're like, hey, after the class, I just want to let you know, I wish I did this 3 years ago because I wasted 3 years of my life watching various free sources for how to do a complicated thing that had great repercussions if I got it wrong, if I'd have just come to school earlier.
Or even worse, you get the guy or girl that does pop a motor and they say, I'm done with this sport.
Yeah.
And that's even worse.
That's worse. Yeah. Or they blame someone else. We see this a lot. People that are uneducated in their tuning side, and then they'll pop a motor and they'll go, wow, yeah, your supercharger, blah, 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 blah. Your cam was blah, 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 blah. They blame other things. And eventually, guys, I just want you all to know, it all goes around and comes around. The industry isn't that big. We all know who you are. And I'm not pointing fingers, but the truth is, if you do that long enough and you're a bad tuner and you point the finger at other people, you will eventually be the common denominator for a bunch of people's problems. Get yourself educated.
The truth will out that you see it with it's bad tune, but there's a magical dyno number that's been supporting it, and then eventually the car goes on a proper dyno somewhere. It's been tested without any sort of bias on it. It's gone on a Mustang or Dynojet or Maha, whatever it is, and then you see the figures and it's like, oh, it's about 200 less than you claimed.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there are people out there that do that, and that's why we put the training courses on that we do. Yeah. Whether it's tool training, whether it's WinOLS, whether it's advanced, we're going through train how you to do your stage 3 plus specific courses. We've done courses with supercharger conversions on some of the V8 Audi things and stuff in the past. Whatever it is you're looking to do, get that professional training. Yeah. Whether it's one of our IMI certified courses, whether you're looking at with Bob at the tuning school, you're doing things like I mean, our software has gone completely, but you're looking at the HP Tuner software and things.
Yeah.
get that formal training from people that have been doing it for 20 plus years, have the experience on it, have been there, done that, seen it all, know what works on the vehicles, and are also continuing to learn and educate themselves as well. What we know now is not what we're going to know
Right.
by next week. I was going to say tomorrow,
Yeah.
but it may even be by tomorrow. We're all abuzz talking about the jet ignition system that Marley's just released the news on about the new Zenvo. Crazy system, and we've all been abuzz talking about that. We're constantly educating ourselves as well and taking formal training, whether it's OEM courses, whatever it may be, to gain more knowledge, because every day is a school day. There's always more to learn on there. But don't be scared of approaching companies like ourselves for that training. If you've been doing this for 5 years, 10 years, we've got guys on the course that are tuning 2,000 horsepower at the wheel cars. These are full-blown dragsters that will probably spend most of their time driving around city centres.
It's true.
Flames and pops and bangs and everything else on there. But these cars have been developed to run safely and correctly all the time. They're here on this course.
Yeah.
I've got guys that have been tuning diesel engines, things, the agri sort of engines and trucks. Again, been doing it for nearly 20 years. They're doing tractor pulls. They're running crazy big horsepower conversions that still come on the courses because they want to learn the safe way to do these things, the correct approach. What is the smart methodology to make sure that, well, it works on 5 of the trucks, but not 10 of them. And I replace a motor on this one every 6 months.
Yeah.
Why? Yes, it going great power, but actually you're running it really lean, or you've massively pushed the timing further than it needs to be. You've got fuel pouring out the smokestacks. Rolling coal does not make power. It isn't faster. Run it cleanly, and you've got a good vehicle that's going to be better on the EGTs.
Yeah.
It's going to last longer, and you're not having to swap the motor out every 6 months.
That's true.
You've still got your power. So coming to tuning schools and academies, like ourselves, gives you that knowledge and that foundation to start approaching the tuning in a safe way. And at the end of the day, you're tuning other people's vehicles. You're messing with someone else's pride and joy. Tuning is a bit like brain surgery. You're performing brain surgery on someone else's on a brain box. It all comes back to brain box.
Brain box surgery.
But you're doing that.
There you go.
You've got to have respect for what that car is, what that person's bought you. They've bought you their prized possession. And let's be honest, they're not cheap cars.
No, they're not. And I would actually add to this that we all think that we can do something and stand on an island by ourselves and be great. I don't know why, but it's just a reality, right?
Yeah.
But by going to any of these sources, right, you don't have to live that way. Because the truth is, when you go home, or when you're at home and you're tuning, or at your shop when you're tuning, you can't get through life on an island. You actually are going to need resources, which I think you talked about, Jared, the networking opportunities, or just being around people, or us. Like, the thing is you have such a great group of people to draw from, because one day I'm going to call one of you guys and be like, hey, dude, this BMW I'm tuning is not behaving right. Have you seen this before? If I hadn't done that and sat through this class, I wouldn't have that connection.
Yeah.
And so the thing is the education is an aspect of it, but it's the relationships you form with others in the industry that will save your butt, because you cannot do this on an island. I don't care how great of an expert you think you are. If you think you're that great, you're on the wrong side of the curve.
Yeah.
You know? But the truth is, you're going to have some people to call that you can call friends, that they're going to call you one day too. And you're going to go, that's right in my wheelhouse. I had that problem. You had the wrong plugs in it. Oh, I didn't even think about that. It's happened. And it still happens.
Yes.
So that's a huge aspect of it. Education, but also relation.
The relation side of it's really interesting to me for this class specifically. This will be the April 2025 gasoline class. We've got a student from South Africa, from Vietnam,
And Saudi Arabia as well.
Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
You're from the UK,
We've got Canada as well.
Canada,
Florida and Texas.
Texas, Utah.
Yeah.
So the US, and
Yeah.
that's a network, and that's the whole idea. We can put our egos aside. We can learn from each other, and this formal training is not cheap. So you've got airfare, you've got hotels and food, and you're traveling. The training alone, depending on when you book with us, it could be a couple $1,000s. So say at worst case scenario on exchange rates, because we're dealing with a UK headquarters, say it's $3,200. How much is a motor on?
I was going to say the same thing, yes.
So how much are you saving?
Yourself.
How much are you saving on that first?
You've ended up on with the motor, but how much work are you turning away because you don't have the confidence to work on it? So you've taken the wise decision not to have a go when you don't know what you're doing. So you haven't blown the motor up, but you're turning 10, 20, 100 customers away.
Well, that's why it's even worse when that person says, oh, I messed up and I can't do this anymore.
Right.
And the truth is you can, because it's not magic.
Right.
It's something that can be learned. And that's why, Bob, I attended your school in Florida in 2020. And I know Viezu has sent people from the UK to attend your school. We're thrilled to have you attend yours and learn this side of it and see these markets come together is super cool. I mean,
I love seeing
we're
it.
ecstatic.
It's great to be a part of it. Just part of that whole cycle.
And there's no ego. There's some testosterone floating around the shop this week. Hey, a bunch of car guys and tuners and lots of cuss words dropped. And
I would just
stay in a shop, but it's a very welcome and learning environment. I think I've seen that in both of your schools.
Oh yeah,
that's across the board.
Yeah. Well, we have an attitude that time is money and money is time, and the truth is, a couple $1,000. I know whoever's watching this might go, oh, that's a pain point, right? I don't have a couple $1,000. Find a couple $1,000. Go to one of the schools,
or call me, and I will get you set up with a finance option, because we do that as well.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather you do that.
Yeah.
And maybe even if I lost a little bit of money and give a discount, and if it saves you a motor and it gets somebody in our industry, then I'm for it.
Well, and what if you could tune 3 cars in the same time it used to take you to tune 1? That's an education worth paying for, guys. And honestly, what do you charge for a dyno tune? $500, $1,000? We're only talking a couple times that. We're not talking $100,000 for education here. This is like, I don't know, a couple grand plus a couple thousand for expenses here or there, whatever, how you do it. It's worth it. Yep. Trust me. We have a lot of students that have been through over the years that we check up on over the years. They're still in the industry over the years. Next thing you know, they're like, yeah, I earned 6 figures. Good for you. And guess what? They probably love doing it, or they wouldn't keep doing it.
Gone from a one-person operation to having 1 shop, 2 shops, 3 shops, multiple employees, and it's just gone from strength to strength.
It's the way in, because like the thing is, and I know we've been talking heavily about performance and tuning, but if you look at it from a little different angle, everything that we teach, that you teach here, that we teach, it doesn't matter. You understand what 99.9% of people in the industry do not, because you're at a level that they are not. And I know it sounds arrogant. It's not supposed to be that way. But what I mean by that is, can most of the industry or most people tell me how a mass airflow sensor works? Probably not. But if I'm in a shop and the car comes in and it's not running right, and I know to look in the scanner and look in the log file at the mass airflow sensor and go, oh, well, your problem is your math. How many people can accurately diagnose that? You have a bad math. Not hardly anybody that I know who isn't a tuner. You understand? So like in Florida specifically, we have a customer who literally made like $3,000 or $4,000 last month on work the dealerships couldn't figure out. They literally bring the car to him. They're like, we can't diagnose this. We don't know what's wrong with it. They don't have the scanner. This is not rocket science. Come to a class, learn how to tune. You'll learn how to diagnose. Your skill set and marketability just went up by a factor of 100. Now you see things because you're used to looking for them in the tuning world that apply to the diagnostic world in a way that just would never calculate any other way.
That's a strive for perfection and to take it to that next level. And
that's
what guides you there.
It's growing the knowledge. It's training that skill set and that approach to, as you said there, understand the data logs, understand the live data when the car's there, you're running. Just because there's not a fault code doesn't mean there's not a fault with the component. It can be running within its tolerances, but if it's reading 10, 20% lower than it should be, that's going to be the cause of the problem. And we see this a lot with vehicles that have got like maybe a DPF issue or something like diesel. Just because it's flagged an issue with that doesn't mean that was the root cause. That's just the thing putting its hand up saying, I've got a problem. Yeah. So, and I like the fact you've said that in there, and it's so often overlooked that it's understanding the broader picture. These training classes are not just go in here, add 10%, go in there, change that to a 5, change that to 373.2. That's the special recipe for every car, because actually there isn't a special recipe for every car.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, sorry. It isn't just add 10% and you're done.
Single thing.
I want to drive that home a little bit harder.
Yeah.
So tomorrow's day 3 of our 3-day class. How many times have we started the car on the dyno in this class yet?
I haven't yet.
We haven't yet. Because there's so much more important things, and it's discussing those aspects of it.
Yeah.
That are the important part. Yeah. We're not just going to dive in on day 1 and pop a motor.
No.
There has to be a structure and set you up for success down the road.
To be clear, we are running the car on the dyno. That's tomorrow.
It's going to be fun.
So there's a lot of things you can do in these classes, and a lot of people can get caught up with the hype of it. So, I'm going to learn exactly how to tune the car. Yes, we'll teach you how to tune an engine, not this specific car on the dyno only, or the specific car that's here for
This is just
diesel
a sample.
course. This is an example. We'll use this ECU as the base model. We cover multiple ECUs in the course, but it's teaching you that safe, smart methodology of how you can now go away and be a tuner, not just someone that can tune that one specific ECU for one specific requirement.
Yeah.
Understanding the software, how to approach it, the sort of the tuner strategy to it, the tuner logic. The ECU has a strategy, but as a tuner, you have a strategy and a logic that you have to apply to the approach as well.
Yeah.
And it is imparting that knowledge and giving the skill set and knowledge for them to go away and tune safely, knowing to do the diagnostics and to look at that data back in the ECU.
Yep. And we like to say good tuners look for trends. So like when we start a class, we're always trying to help people see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
What is this car telling me? So in the data logger or the scanner, whatever brand you're using, you have to know as a tuner, what am I expecting this to look like? And then also, what is it when it looks like it's out of range or there's a problem? Or, going back to the diagnostic side, we had never threw a fault code. As soon as the car warmed up, and this is a student's car, he had a customer come in the shop. He used his tuning tools to figure this out.
Yeah.
The dealership couldn't figure it out, but apparently some maintenance was done to this dealership. They had replaced an O2 sensor or something. They got the wires crossed. And so when the car went into closed loop, as soon as it went into closed loop, the fuel trims would go opposites, and the car would run like crap because the driver's side was saying add 10%, the passenger side's going, no, why are you doing this? And on the, and regular, diagnostics weren't working, but using his tuning equipment and understanding that good tuners look for trends, they were looking at it going, wow, that's going up. Why is this going down at the same rate? That's a problem. Yeah. And all it was, as it turned out, they had the O2 sensors hooked into the opposite harnesses. So driver's side was plugged into the passenger bank, passenger to the driver bank. And so when the driver's side called for a 5% improvement or, increase, the passenger side's like, well, no, this is wrong. And it would go -5. And it just drove the car nuts and it was awful. But the point being, this all goes back to understanding the principles of how these things work. And yes, you apply it to performance tuning, but you can also apply it to daily life when a car runs in with a problem. And then maybe there's another element of income for your shop, which is, things people don't.
Yeah. We've seen that before. We've seen a vehicle where there's a knock sensor faults coming up.
Yep.
And the guy had been through knock sensor after knock sensor after knock sensor. They'd been to another shop and had the charger replaced because the charger was worn and someone replaced. And when the work was done, a wire had been snagged, caught between.
Yep.
So they keep replacing these sensors because there's no one specific fault coming up to the sensor. Of course, it was earthing out occasionally, intermittent faults flagging on, and it was knocking under conditions that you wouldn't expect it to knock under.
Sure.
So you start to look through these things, you start to look at the logs, see what the car's doing, you're checking your fueling, checking your timing. Car standard, we know that car shouldn't knock on those conditions, trace it back, and then sure enough, just the tiniest little edge of the casing on the cable. Nicked.
Yep.
Logs and starting to scope things out and seeing the trends, and that's the whole key right there.
The whole thing.
So, formal education, great, learn it. Not everybody can do that. We get that as well. So, the tuning school now has an online system.
Yeah.
Let's tell us about that, the subscription, how to get a hold of it, do a commercial for us.
Yeah. So I'll give you the non-commercial commercial is the membership has done really, really well. And when I say really, really well, it's not that we made a ton of money on it. That'd be great. But what I'm saying is that we found a more modern way of doing it in which the students, they love their courses, they love their books, they love their online stuff, and that's great. But the people that want to kind of accelerate their learning curve and get support throughout their time, we have a membership. It's called the Master Tuning Experience. The Master Tuning Experience allows them to, every other week, we have a live Zoom call with you. And typically we have 5 or 8 guys in a Zoom call. And it's very segmented where it's like GM, you're a GM member, you're a Ford member, you're a Dodge member. It's always on the same platform. So typically it's HP tuners. And so then, you may have a car come into your shop this week. I got problems with this thing. No problem. So I'll go around the room in the Zoom call every other week and go, hey, what's going on, guys? Like, what are you struggling with? And they love that. They love it because it's personalized. Maybe this week you have no problems, but you hear his problem over there. And you're like, oh, dude, I had that problem in my shop 3 months ago with that Camaro or whatever. And it was a tune problem or it was a hardware problem or whatever. Point being, you can accelerate your learning curve because with the Master Tuning Experience, you get all the curriculum we have to offer, but you also get classes every other week. And it's for a year. So within that time period, you will get to where you want to be.
And that's platform specific. So if I'm a GM,
Yes.
if I'm an LS tuner using HP,
Yep.
I can get on with somebody like.
It's us. It's literally our GM instructors. It's me. You might
Okay.
get Brett Lundquist does our Ford classes. Steven Dixon does our Dodge classes. You know, we have them for all over the variety. It doesn't matter what you want to attend. We have that membership for you, and it's not terribly expensive, but it is a way for you to get where you want to get to. And if, you know, just taking an online class isn't enough for you, which probably isn't, you're going to want that level of, it's what we came up with as the easy button solution. It's like, you know, there's a little commercial here. It's like, push the easy button. I want the easy button. Because people wanted to be able to call a friend when they need help.
That's awesome. I don't know what the pricing is, but I know just having somebody on call, like,
Yeah.
hey, professional, how do I do this?
It is less than you would expect.
That's not going to throw an ego at you, and that's just going to give you a genuine and true and accurate answer the first time.
In addition to that, we have this community that we've rolled out recently, and the community is fantastic. I don't know if you guys have ever been on forums, like old school forums.
Yeah.
Guys were asking, like, man, I miss the forums. These Facebook groups are rough. So we built our own. We got our own community, and it's the same kind of structure. Maybe you're in the GM or the Ford, the Dodge side, or whatever, or Holly, or whatever you're doing. But you can go in there at any time, post up your scan, post up your tune, write a little description. Hey guys, I'm having this problem. I helped a guy this morning with a wideband problem.
Yeah.
And the way we help them is we'll either type up a response that's super quick, or we'll make a little video, like a little screen recording. Hey, I see your scan. I reviewed your scan. This is where you're going wrong. You need to make this adjustment. Have a good day. And then other students are learning from it. They're also responding and helping each other.
Is that a paid thing as well to join that forum?
So when you buy any of our courses, you get access to the community. So if you buy like a Learn at Home course or an online course, we have a community just for you.
Where can you enroll in the training, and where is the community located?
Yeah, it's all at thetuningschool.com. And so community is actually community. I think it's community. Don't quote me.
We'll post a link.
But there's links for that. You know, there's links for that. Oh, sorry, guys. But there's definitely links for that. But
Okay.
the
On your website, so
yeah,
it's all
for
hosted
sure.
there.
Yeah, when you purchase any of our products, it doesn't matter which one it is. They all have access to the community in some capacity, and you'll get your links to it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I like chatting with guys who are just on a dyno somewhere having a problem.
This is the thing, we're in the industry and we love what we do.
Yeah.
We're all car nuts, we're all petrol heads, and that's what we enjoy about it, yeah.
Yeah, it's passionate about it.
So from our point of view, we've obviously got our Viezu Technical Academy. So from an online learning platform, we have remap101.co.uk. We're just about to launch our multilingual version of that as well. So this isn't just subtitles. This is actually audio
Nice.
transcribed, translated on there. So you'll have one of the instructors talking in French, Spanish,
Have you ever done that?
Chinese.
You can record yourself and have AI convert it. Your mouth matches. So all of a sudden you're speaking Russian or Arabic or Chinese.
That's crazy.
So we run. Sorry, that's cool. Yeah, it's so powerful.
They're rolling it
the
out.
software on there. So that's what we're rolling out with our courses. We run obviously a number of SCORM compliant courses on there as well. So we're partnered with the IMI, which is the UK recognised institute of the motor industry body as well. So that's the same thing. If you're getting your mechanics qualification, it's to that set level.
So that's like an equivalent to our ASE, if you're familiar with that.
ASE or SAE or
SAE.
yeah, SAE is engineering, but
ASE goes to the ONC.
Mechanics, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it's a UK industry body recognised training levels, if that makes sense. So it's a certified, recognised training.
ASE equivalent.
So that obviously runs on there. We have our community, Facebook.
Cool.
We've not gone forum. We've not come full circle back
You
to
haven't come
forum
full circle yet.
We have our Facebook group again. It's a closed group, so it's not a free-for-all for anyone to go in there. And it is all for tuners to help support tuners. So we're posting content now regularly. We get questions that come through, so we'll have someone that's been on the course and go, hey, did this last year, I'm having a problem with this. Great, we'll answer that, do similar, we'll put a video or screenshots, whatever, over to them, and then go and post what we've done into the group so everyone else can benefit from it as well. So it's great because they're all asking questions to each other. Similarly with the students as well, we actively promote that networking for our students because we've seen on the course already this week, there'll be people that are doing certain things. They go, oh, I can help you out with that.
Sure.
Oh, you got that problem. Send me the file, I'll take a look. And it just builds, that network, but that knowledge base improves as well. So our courses, there isn't a monthly sort of annual subscription things for it. It's a pay-as-you-go for the course. Once you bought the course, you've got it for life, though, so you can go back to it as and whenever you please and revisit that content. Come with quizzes supported on there as well. So there's one of the things with a lot of different courses outside of automotive, you'll go and watch a video for half an hour. Great. How do you know you've actually learned what was in the video? Did you take everything in?
Right.
So the quizzes also test the knowledge as well, and it helps the
I've done
the
that. They
student.
worked. They frustrated me because I didn't take it all in, but then I got it, so it worked.
The rebound?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were good.
Indoors.
Got my attention. Yes.
But it's one of those things that's so often missed with training. I know we both do these things and sort of test the knowledge of the end user, but there's nothing worse someone does some training and goes away and they maybe missed some certain bits, and then there's a blown engine.
Yeah.
Well, I did your course and now this happened. Yeah. This now ensures that you've got that knowledge and helps drive any of those questions or additional support that the student's looking for afterwards. So courses start from as little as, I think, £75. Some of our courses on there. And we're covering a wide range of software. We've got Stage X courses, ECM, WinOS, more courses obviously coming out regularly on there. But I said they're set in that sort of way, so you do get quizzes. It's the score and compliant quizzes on there as well. And it's not just follow the video along, it is actually testing you as you go along. It's not just the quiz, but this is now an activity you need to do.
Right.
So sometimes it's not just a quiz, it's right, now go and make a file and submit it to us. So we will check your work. It's a bit like being back at school, but
I think the closest thing I've seen, it's like taking an online college class in the
so
yeah. There are quizzes and you can't screenshot anything. Not that I've tried. But you can rewind and go back and watch it, and it breaks it up into modules. So $100, $150 for this module, and you're like, I need the information from that module. You don't have to buy the whole.
Yeah, you can go in and get a bit. So if you want to brush up on some knowledge, you can jump in at lesson 4 of 6, for example. There's course materials on there as well. So one of the things we always do, we try and be like the configuration settings that we've refined over the years for WinOS. We'll put that in there. We'll put map packs in there.
Helps.
Any sort of supporting materials in there to help whoever's taking the course to achieve their best on there. But yeah, it's that community thing is the big thing afterwards. You've done the course, that's great. You've got support with us.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much like 30 days. You just send anything through that you need to, questions-wise and files you need to be checked over. But it's not just you've done the course, thank you very much. We want to see you the next year. We're going to SEMA, we're running courses there. You've done one of our online courses, great. Now come to one of the face-to-face courses where we're doing an advanced masterclass on converting your car to E85. How do you unlock the settings in the ECU? What needs to be changed for bigger injectors and so on? How can you get the most out of that ECU for your customer's requirement? Coming back to the customer's needs and the journey again. We cater for a wide range of things on there, very similar to the tuning school. Wide range of ECUs. We don't have so much specific necessarily like your GM or your Ford.
Sure.
Because a lot of our students are going, I'm going to tune gasoline. I'm going to tune
more
diesel.
based. Right.
It might be more specific in terms of doing heavy oil and agri, so your big sort of trucks, big rigs and things, and your agri vehicles there. You might have someone that's more into the motorsport side of things and more performance orientated. So it might be your Lamborghinis, your Ferraris and Exotica.
Sure.
Very nice to be in if you can.
Sure.
But it's just a wide range of things that we're looking for. So I think we both got to cater for such a wide range of people, and it's all about helping them on that journey. We want to give that support to them as well. It's not just there's your course and done. Come back to us after, ask for that help and support, the clarification.
I want you to win, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And help everybody that we can.
Yeah, I think one of the things I want to say, and this isn't about selling training courses and things. Please come on them.
Yeah.
Is that the more people that we can train and educate, the better the standards in the industry are going to be, which means the better the reputation of the industry is going to be.
It's a fact.
And it just makes everything better from an automotive aftermarket point of view. The more people that know what they're doing, the less failures are going to happen on cars, the less mistakes are going to happen on there, and the standards are just going to be better, which then makes it more mainstream.
Yep.
When it's more mainstream, there's more customers have it done. It's a win for everyone at that point.
It is. Tuning used to be the wild, wild west when we first started. That's what we used to say, because like when I first started, nobody would teach me anything. They wouldn't tell me anything. It's literally why I started the tuning school, because nobody would teach me. I'm like, that's fine. Okay. So then people started to ask, and they're like, wow, I went out into the industry and I realized it was a jungle out there, man. It was a mess. Like the people were just blowing stuff up, but they didn't understand principles. And, I think get some education. It helps as a whole. And it has helped as a whole over a long period of time.
That was the reason we started Viezu in the first place. This is way back in the day.
Yes.
It was before we started the academy, we started Viezu because you had so many garages and automotive shops that were going, I want to tune this Porsche today. Oh, well, I need to find Fred because only Fred does the Porsches.
Yep.
Oh, it's a BMW. I need to go and find Mike for that. Or a Jag, I need to go and find Simon for that. Whatever it may be.
Right.
We brought all those services into one house to offer that B2B service to those garages, to those shops that were struggling. How can you have a customer in your shop and you can't tune the vehicle because your tuner only works 2 days a week,
It's tough.
or he's not working for 3 weeks, he's gone on holiday with a family.
Yeah.
Doesn't work. So we put Viezu together. We built Viezu to offer that year-round service, that 7-day-a-week service. It's not just the files, it's the technical support, it's the tool training as well. And from that, we then saw there was the need from our side of the pond, approaching on your toes, our side of the pond with the vehicles, that actually there's a lot of people out there tuning files that have got no idea what they're doing.
That's fair.
They've had a very quick 10 minutes, this is how you use this piece of software from a supplier somewhere, add 10%. Great.
Scary.
That's not going to work.
YouTube certified.
So yeah, YouTube certified. There we go. So then we put the technical academy together to give that knowledge transfer to these people and to raise the standards in the industry. It is not smoke and mirrors. Tuning isn't a black art.
Yeah.
It's science. It's maths. It's mechanics. There is a logic to what we do. If you don't follow that logic, you're not going to get the car to do what you want it to do.
Sure.
It's maths, it's science, it's a logical approach to it. So that's
All
why we
applied to
started the academy.
an imperfect engine, which gives you a daily challenge.
Yeah.
But it's a challenge that can be learned how to be dealt with.
Yeah.
So that's the best part. Because you can set yourself up for success, and that's on you to do that.
Cool. So
But there are some resources out there that will definitely guide you in the right direction. Final thoughts as we wrap this up. Anything you want to say to anybody out there?
Ooh, anybody watching? Or
Anybody who wants
anybody? Well, that's a big audience there, man. I would just say, camera guy, great job, by the way.
Ricky's behind the camera.
Ricky's getting it done.
Ricky also went to the tuning school with me back in
He did, yeah.
to your shop. So
Yeah. Got a lot more facial hair since then, though. Good job. Yeah. So I guess what I would just say is if you're passionate about performance or automotive in general, and you enjoy that kind of an atmosphere, it's a great thing to get into, guys. You know, there's really not a lot of downsides to it. The only downsides that I find is that people ask you a lot more questions because you have a base of knowledge that they don't generally have, and that's not really the downside. It's just an opportunity to grow yourself personally and to offer your advice and your help to people that don't otherwise understand when they're in a pinch. And we see it all the time back home. It's just, you know, guys, girls that are dealing with a car that's not cooperating. It's a great opportunity to have that level of knowledge that you really can't get in a normal educational environment. You know, and there's nothing wrong with regular mechanical work or heavy duty work. Nothing wrong with any of that. It has to be done. It's done by great people. They're qualified and they're experts, but they're dealing with engineering level problems, which actually correlates directly with tuning. I mean, there's just so much overlap there. So if you're in the diagnostic side of the industry, don't think this doesn't apply to you. It really does. I would challenge you, because you take one of our courses, take one of Viezu's courses, you will understand significantly like higher levels of what's going on, how to diagnose it, and how to fix it. And if you feel like you're just throwing parts of the car, it's because you probably are. We've all been there. I'm not being critical. I'm just saying I was there because I didn't have that knowledge.
Yeah.
And it took me years to figure that out. So if you don't want to have that problem, you can really elevate yourself.
Yeah, I think you said that really eloquently. What I'd add on there from our side, obviously we look at the tool side of things as well. I've seen so many people over the years that have taken the plunge and got into tuning, whether it's as a client tool and they're just looking at remapping people's cars, they're going out mobile, or they're adding it to their existing business. There's been people that have had complete career changes, and we saw a lot of that obviously with COVID and the lockdowns, people looking to do something different. And it has been genuinely life-changing for so many people that have come on board. It's given them not only financial freedom, but it's given them freedom, their own time back. We said time is money.
It's a fact.
They can now go and tune 4 or 5 cars in a week. That's them done.
Done.
They're off then, spend time with the family, the kids, other side projects and side hustles or whatever else they're working on. Taking that leap of going from, in many cases, working in that cubicle, nothing wrong with that, of course, but that 9 to 5, they've got a massive passion for cars. It's something they've always wanted to get involved with. They've got an understanding mechanically and they know how the engine's working, but don't know if it's for them. Come and see us.
Try it.
Talk to us. Drop an email. Speak to Jared here in the US, Viezu USA. Bob at the Tuning School, ourselves over in the UK as well. There's no obligation with these things. We'd rather sit down and have that half an hour, 2 hour, half day conversation with you, showing you tools and equipment, intro into the software to make sure it's right for you, than a lot of places that will just go, buy this, buy this, buy this. You end up getting the wrong equipment. You don't get the sort of the official training. You're not doing it the right way. And then you end up causing a problem with the car and you drop it and walk away. This thing that could have been life-changing for you and a dream job to be in has been ruined because of a few missteps
Yeah.
going the wrong way with it. Come and see someone such as ourselves. Talk to us about what you're looking to achieve, why you want to take this step, and we'll help guide you in the right direction. I think for me, it's a really good thing to see. It's amazing to see when people do genuinely transform their lives. We've had people career change into tuning, done some mobile work, and then now set up their own garages. They're now employing several people, and it's just gone from strength to strength to strength. They're now taking on their own dealer network.
Yeah. Working on what they love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a fantastic industry. Get involved.
What he said.
I love it. The networking, everything's great. Going from before I even knew Simon, going to the tuning school, and then being introduced to Viezu, I kept going and learning more, and we're all
You're a great example, Jared.
not that not that you left us with anything to desire, but it was the domestic tuning just wasn't a good fit in Utah, and there was nobody tuning Mercedes and Porsches, and so we found a market, and this is that what he's just talking about, that freedom, or that just that path. It was a path that was presented or that I saw, and it was just a door that I had to walk through, but I didn't do it alone. So I had people that I turned to throughout the years, and to see it come full circle and have you back in my shop. Time is money, and that's because we're all mortal.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate you both giving me your time,
Of course.
and being in my shop here in Utah. So
It's awesome to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's great.
it all comes full circle, and gotta love the network.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
your website,
TheTuningschool.com.
Viezu.com,
and then the Tuning Academy.
remap101.co.uk.
Perfect. And we are ViezuUSA.com. All the links and everything will be in there. So
Good, because there's a lot of links there.
lots of links, lots of description, lots of shorts. So